Hi everyone, and welcome to the Virgo July 2021 self-connection reading. Welcome. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot and meaning-based spiritual coaching services. I'm Lauren. Welcome. So this is one of 3 connection readings that I do for each sign each month. This is the self-connection reading where we take a look at your connection and awareness of your unique individual self. I have the spiritual connection reading, which is where you get a chance to take a look at the connection between your unique individual self and its engagement with your external environment and destiny. And we have the partnership connection reading, which is where we take a look at how you are engaging your unique internal self with the other unique internal selves of the people in your life. All right, so all of my readings work with the Triad of Engagement. And the Triad of Engagement is a coaching tool that I've developed that works with the 3 principles of curiosity, courage, and contemplation, which helps show that when you work with these 3 principles together, you can build awareness of your unique self, as well as where you can engage this unique self with your external environment to be able to overcome feelings of fear and anxiety and really tap into the feelings of purpose and place and emotional fulfillment. All right, so we are going to pull a Power of Surrender card, Virgo, first for the principle of curiosity for the, and we have one that just came flying right out. Now, this is basically to start, this is kind of the question, the overarching question or the overarching message for the month of July for self-awareness for you. So we have surrender the habit of people pleasing. And it says, speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. And Virgo, I think you need to hear this more than any other sign in the zodiac. You are the sign that's associated with healing. And with healing, the dark or difficult side of being the healer of the zodiac is that oftentimes when you are not in a place of personal power and awareness, this power can be actually turned into almost like a martyr victimization syndrome, where you are giving and giving and giving of self to try to help and heal others, but at the expense of self. So in order to be happy and healthy and want others to be happy and healthy, you have to be happy and healthy first. And actually what's interesting is that this theme came up in your spiritual connection reading, which I recorded earlier, where I use this example of, imagine if you were injured, you went to the emergency room and the doctor came out and had a massive head wound and was trying to administer help and, medical assistance to you while you're looking at him in horror going, no, I think you're the one that needs help first. And so it's very difficult to receive healing from somebody who isn't already healed or from somebody who is has an open or obvious wound. And so that can happen very easily to you, Virgos, when you give too much of yourself and you're tapped out, and others can basically either use you, almost emotionally manipulate you because of that, or they pull back and, all the effort that you're trying to give to help them and heal them, they aren't seeing you as the healthy, whole individual that you are. And so they don't really take your advice, too seriously. I don't know how else to say that. But you guys are highly empathetic. And so people pleasing automatically comes in to play when you're an empathetic person, because you can read other people and you don't want to step on other people's toes because you don't want that to happen to you either. But this month, the whole theme, now when we're talking about curiosity, we're talking about optimism, openness, receptivity, and being open and optimistic towards going within, to looking at yourself and applying that beautiful curiosity to self of what makes me special and beautiful. What needs to be brought out into my external environment and respected? And that is where you're going to have to ask yourself that question. What part of yourself have you been basically hiding or not bringing out to its fullest, healthiest, healed version because you are trying to people please? Especially where it says focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. The first lesson to learn here, especially when we're looking at the connection to self, is that our seat of personal power starts here, starts within ourselves. We cannot control another person. We cannot control their healing. We cannot control their reactions. We cannot control the actions they choose to take. We can try all that we want to hold up a mirror and to show them where they're going wrong and what they need to work on or change. But until that person decides to see that for themselves and to make the decision on their own behalf to make that change or take that action, you can't control what they do. And so this is where we get into this false illusion that when we're trying to help others, we have to actually see them take action. We actually have to force them to see what we see. And in reality, the only thing that we can control is our own actions. The only thing we can do is try. So you can try to help them. You can try to show them maybe a better road to happiness. But first and foremost, you should be happy. You should be the one that is focusing on your own healing before you try to heal others. You should be focusing on your own happiness before trying to tell others or show others how to be happy. And I think that this is really where, as your point of curiosity, to look at this month as you go through and engage with whatever comes your way, where you are pushing parts of yourself down to or aside, or where you're putting yourself into a feeling of martyrdom or victimization because you're trying to help another. And or please, people please, basically have them be happy because you're doing something for them. And again, we cannot control another person's happiness. If the person chooses not to be happy, no matter what you do for them, that's on them, not on you. So this month is all about you. Being curious as to where you haven't been focusing on yourself, where you haven't been turning what you've been putting on others towards yourself. So if you're not feeling happy, but you're telling somebody else to be happy, turn that back on yourself, that message back on yourself first to get yourself to that place of happiness. Once you get there, then you can start to function from, a different level. But I really feel like at this point, especially also when it comes to abilities or expressing hopes and dreams, this isn't about keeping those inside because you're afraid of what somebody else might think. Or let's say you're in a partnership and your partner is very goal and dream driven and oriented, but you're finding suddenly that is not in alignment with your dreams and goals. Well, it's not for you to just sit back and say, well, I don't want to sit there and ruin all the work they've put towards this, or ruin their dream and goal by inserting mine. It's about realizing, no, yours has a place as equally as important as theirs. And so this is where you have to be curious as to why you're not expressing that. And to be open and curious about what part of yourself are you not expressing and why. And then to build in that optimistic faith to take action which is going to be the next card I pull. So I'm going to go ahead and start to pull that. To have the courage to take action in expressing that part of yourself. And wow, your cards also just popped out. Virgo, you guys are on point today. So we have Stag Spirit, take the lead. And it's number 58, which reduces down to a number 13, which is death and transformation, which reduces further down to the number 4, which is building new foundations. So within this card, there's a lot going on. There is this element. Now, this is your card for courage. So courage is where we get a chance to have the courage to take the action on behalf of our authentic self. And you're being told here to take the lead. You're being told here that it's not about people pleasing. It's about taking action on your own behalf. And when we're looking at the numbers that surround this, so again, the number 58 reducing down to the number 13, to then, which is the number of the death card in the major arcana in the tarot, but also which embodies death and transformation at the same time. So it's not just death, it's death to allow for new growth and transformation, which then reduces to the number 4, which is all about building new, firm, and solid foundations. So there is something here about taking action to build anew. And I really think that that starts first with understanding a part of yourself that you have been perhaps a little too afraid to bring out, or there's a part of yourself that you really want to focus on. Maybe you haven't been happy for a while and you want to focus on that. So what is it that you've been holding back because of the people-pleasing aspect that would make you happy, that would lead to emotional fulfillment, but that you have not had the courage to take the lead on and express, and to start to build that firm foundation on your own happiness from a place of you being able to express some part of yourself that has been pushed aside. Okay, I'm going to jump right in here. Your messages are just coming very clear. So this month, Virgo, I think it's really going to be about you just, when you think about connection to self, it's about finding the courage to be yourself, but finding the courage to be yourself from a place of true respect and unconditional love towards yourself. That this is not going to, and I was talking about this earlier, and I think it was actually in your reading, that you can't look for fulfillment outside of yourself. Another person in your life is not going to fulfill you. They can help add to your emotion, to your experience of emotional fulfillment, but they can't make you feel emotionally fulfilled. Another person can't make you feel truly healed and happy and healthy. That has to come from within first. And then your external environment can support that, can add to that. But what I'm seeing here is that this month is about being curious about you and giving yourself that respect and that unconditional love that comes from your direct connection to spirit, and applying that to yourself to say, I'm worth it. It makes me think of, for anybody who's watched Saturday Night Live, this is Saturday Night Live from back in the 90s, where there was a sketch about, kind of one of these like self-help coaching sessions. And the guy is saying, he's looking at himself in the mirror and he's saying, I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, and doggone it, people like me. It's kind of one of those things, like that needs to be your mantra for this month, Virgo, that you are good enough, you are smart enough, you are strong enough, and you are your own unique individual being that deserves the respect and attention of others as much as you give to them. And that it's not about being afraid. You're being told it's time to step up and take the lead. It's time to transform some aspect of self that you have been insecure about or that you've been hiding. And it's time to start building a new foundation on that this month. So I'm going to pull a final card for contemplation. And contemplation is the third and final principle in the Triad of Engagement. And this is where we get to integrate. This is where we get to learn from the actions that we took, from what we were curious about, and we get to connect those two to see, okay, what was the reaction? What was the consequence? And now, where can I further build on that? So this is our seat of self-education through continued self-awareness and direct experience with our external environment. Beautiful. So the card that came out for you is Soul Family. And it says, call in your tribe, you don't have to do it alone. And I think this is a beautiful reminder that as much as this is about you coming back to self, coming back to this place of removing anything that makes you feel like a victim, or anything that makes you feel like you're a martyr, or anything that makes you feel less than, in when you want to express authentic parts of yourself. Again, be this abilities, needs, hopes, dreams. That yes, it's time for you to take the lead in your own life. Yes, it's time for you to realize that you are on equal footing with anybody else that you meet in your life, and that you are just as important, and your needs and abilities and wants and dreams are just as important as theirs. But that in addition to that, you do have people around you who will support you. You do have people who will see eye to eye with you. You will find that the more you step into this place of empowered self-confidence, and the more you express yourself authentically, the more your tribe will be attracted to you like puzzle pieces. The more you will attract healthy people, the more you will attract supportive people, the more you will attract the people who actually have the same interests as you. And you aren't going to have to heal them. You aren't going to have to expend energy to hide parts of yourself from them. You aren't going to have to make them happy first before your own happiness. This is the beauty of when we contemplate on where perhaps we have been surrounding ourselves with people that don't really resonate with us. Where we've been trying to, in not wanting to connect with parts of ourselves we've been pushing down, we project that on others, and we attempt to hide, or not hide, but attempt to heal and work with aspects of other people, not realizing that, or trying to make it better. You know, Virgo, you are a sign of perfection as well, so that you're trying to constantly perfect other people. And in reality, just realizing that you don't have to perfect people. You don't have to perfect other people. In fact, you don't have to perfect yourself. If you can really accept yourself, you will naturally draw in people who are perfect in and of themselves, who don't need any perfecting, who don't need any work made on them. You will, in turn, attract to you people who are at your level. And that's the beauty of stepping up into a whole and healed position, of stepping up into that place of self-respect and confidence, is that you will attract those people to you. And this is a good message for anyone who feels like they are continually drawing in unhealthy people. If you've ever asked yourself, this is a great ending point for contemplation for yourself, to think back on any time that you might have said, I always attract this type of person. Or every time, it makes me think actually of a Virgo in my life, where he specifically says, every time I date somebody and we break up, the next person that person meets is the love of their life, or the person that they marry. So I just must be this person who's always meant to be the person before. And what that says to me is that you're not whole and healthy in your own self going into partnerships. So that when you go into this partnership, you are attracting somebody who is equally not healthy and healed. And it takes them being in relationship to you to do healing and then to move on as a healed person to, come into union with somebody else. Where if you are this healed person, well, the next person you meet will be that person who matches you on a healed and happy and healthy level. So this is really where to contemplate on any of those times when you felt, man, I always attract these people who are victims. I always attract this person who, wants to just use me for this or use me for that. And this is where you have to realize it's because I haven't been confident in that area. I haven't been confident and healed and healthy. And so I attract others who are also not confident, healed, and healthy. So now this is where you get to make that change. And in doing that, whatever aspect of self, wherever that lies for you, in making that small change to really take empowered action on your own behalf, that's going to call in your tribe so that you don't have to do it alone, so that you get a chance to feel that sense of family, that sense of shared respect with others. Because it's not enough to, the whole reason why I work with people to become self-aware is because it's not just enough to be self-aware. It's about becoming self-aware so that you can engage that part of yourself with others. Because it's through engagement and connection with others in our environment that we get a chance to enjoy us. We get to enjoy our own experience, and we get to share that with the shared experiences of others. When you think about going out to dinner, or think about whatever favorite hobby that you have, isn't it so much more beautiful and fun when you get to share that with another, especially another who appreciates it on the same level that you do? And I think that that's really where you need to come back and start applying that perspective from the inside out. What is it that you love to do, and what is it that you want to do to have others share in that enjoyment of? All right, Virgo, I hope this has been helpful. I think this is going to be a liberating month if you can really just let go people pleasing and really just realize that you don't have to carry the burden of saving other people. You don't have to carry the burden of healing other people. You get to just be happy. You get to just enjoy living your life, living your journey. And you deserve to have others share that journey with you. All right, Virgos, I hope you get a chance to check out your other readings, your spiritual connection reading, which I think would be really good to check out after this video because it really kind of elaborates on this theme. And points out a couple of fear points that maybe you need to help kind of get clarity on as well. In addition to that, I hope you guys check out your partnership connection reading as well. And if you'd like to book a personal tarot reading with me or a one-on-one coaching session, the links to my website are in the description box below. Bye, Virgos.